I believe since our last interview, the Keefe D interview happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then some years later, you fast forward 2023, and where we are now, Keefe D is now arrested and awaiting trial for his involvement in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Did you watch my interview when I first dropped it?
I watched some of it. Yes, I did.
What did you think? By the way, did you know Keefe D?
I didn't know Keefe D. I knew he was from the South, though.
Okay, you knew of him? You knew of him?
Yes.
Okay, but you didn't know him personally?
No.
Okay. You watched part of that video, and this was the first time Keefe really sat down and told kind of the whole story. And I based it off his book. I already had a copy of his book in my hands by the time I did that interview. When you watched it, what did you think?
Look, I'm just like everybody else. I come from a school of there's certain things you don't do. There's certain things you don't say, you don't talk about. The generation of social media and podcasting and all that has taken us in a different direction. I guess, he felt like it was okay to write the book and to speak on the situation. I've always been told, like, regardless, you just don't talk about certain shit that has been done. Why he felt comfortable enough to speak on that situation, who knows? I didn't think it was a good look not as far as for the interview itself, but just these are situations that sometimes you just have to be quiet about because you don't know who's still watching and who's ready to pounce on you about certain situations. If you've ever been involved with something like that, you were always told to keep your mouth shut. I mean, that's what I grew up off of, I've never been told, once it goes down and maybe 20, 30 years later, it's okay to open up and tell your story or whatever, but some things should just remain private. So I just thought, and like a lot of people thought, it was crazy to see, speaking on it, so I don't think it was a good look for him.
Were you surprised when he actually got locked up for it?
No.
No.
I mean, because murder has no statute of limitations.
Right.
And if you're involving yourself in a murder, I don't give a fuck if it's 40 years later. If you're involving yourself in it and you're giving up details to being present at the scene of the murder, and you know how they gonna do you. You either gonna come in here the minute that motherfucking shit happened and tell, or we gonna motherfucking conspiracy your ass. So I don't think it should have done it. Because like you said, with no statute of limitations on murders, you just basically giving them the opportunity to go back, reopen, investigate. And now if they want to just put two and two together, they just gonna do it. You were involved. You were there. You were in the car. You saw the pistol. You heard the shots. You get me? You can't get away from that.
There's a lot of gray area over that situation because the version that Keefe said has kind of been picked apart. Keefe's the only living person in that car.
Definitely.
So no one else could really speak on it outside of him, or maybe something that Suge saw as it was happening. And Suge is not really speaking on it. And you actually comment on this because one of the things that Keefe said when he confessed to, on those tapes was that I guess Big Dre was given the gun first.
Yeah, I heard that.
You commented on this.
Yeah, I heard that.
You say, you explained why, Dre didn't shoot when Keefe gave him the weapon. What's your take on that?
Like I said, I wasn't there, so I can't actually speak for, but my train of thought is probably like, I don't know, maybe it's not feeling like it's my beef. You know, I don't know. To be presented in that situation, I don't know. Sometimes dudes think about shit. And Big Dre, I know Big Dre.
So you knew him personally.
Yeah,
Right, he
I was
passed
trying to
away.
do music with Big Dre. He was starting a label. I think he had a record label.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Run off records, or if I believe.
Right, I think Suge even commented how, I guess, Daz and Snoop basically did some music with Dre after Tupac's murder.
Yeah.
And he kind of criticized them over that, for whatever it's worth.
Some dudes, like I said, when you gang banging and you get into this life, everybody think, everybody's treacherous murder killer ass, no motherfucking heart, just the evilest of the evil. A lot of motherfuckers, they have brains and they have minds and they think of the future. And they try to avoid situations and shit. Like I said, I can't speak for Big Dre. I don't know what his train of thought was at the time.
What was Big Dre like?
To me, he was cool. You know, he was a cool dude. He represented he represented his section, but he was a dude who was willing to reach out and fuck with people. You get me? They reached out to me. Like you said, he was probably getting down with Snoop and them on some shit. My thing is, if you can show niggas respect, man, niggas will respect you back. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what situations happened in the past, if we can kind of get over that, learn to respect each other as men, motherfuckers is cool. A lot of people that you might think that was just, man, I would never fuck with that nigga. I found like, niggas is cool as fuck.
Well, yeah, a lot of times money lubricates the friction.
I mean, money can stop the friction on everything. If we can get money together, man, I can respect you all on that note.
Well, right, because Suge paid Orlando to testify in his case to say that Suge wasn't kicking him. It didn't work.
Exactly.
But
I mean, you got video, but the fact that
who allegedly killed your biggest artist, you're paying him after the fact.
You don't want to say money is just the root of all, and you're going to do whatever, but if a person is willing to try to settle situations, you get me, and you're going to compensate me and maybe make my situation a little better than it is, then, we might have to look at them alternatives, man. You feel me?